Hey guys, how's it going? Hopefully everyone's having a pretty good week so far. Going to talk about kind of the fundamentalist and modernist debate today, and really get into how the Scopes monkey trial kind of really depicts how the feelings were during the 1920s. So during the 1920s, this fundamentalist modernist debate is going to spark into both the national and also international scene. In this time of conflict, Christians are going to be split across denominations as well as geographically. The fundamentalists believe that Christians should adhere very strictly to the teachings of the Bible, meaning that they hold true to these. Christians need to believe in five things in order to kind of live out what they should. One of them is the truthfulness of the Bible. Another is the literal nature of biblical accounts, and we're going to see in a second how this one very staunchly goes against what the modernists believe. Third, they believe specifically that Christ's miracles and also the creation account in Genesis, the virgin birth of Christ, the resurrection of the physical return of Christ, and then finally the atonement of sins for Christ on the cross. Modernists, on the other hand, are a little less strict with these beliefs. They believe that the Bible is this really good set of metaphors that really kind of explain how to live a good Christian life and not necessarily are 100% true. This debate is going to come to a head in the extremely public Scopes trial of 1925 in Dayton, Tennessee. In this trial, John Scopes, a biology teacher, is going to be put on trial for teaching evolution in his public school biology class. According to Weiss, Scopes is going to be found guilty and later fined $100 for the crime. Later, this is going to get overturned due to a technicality, and so the results of the trial are not necessarily groundbreaking. A science teacher has to pay $100 and then he doesn't. But what really is important about this is how the trial highlights the fundamentalist and the modernist view of Christianity, and this is why it's so important. After the trial, the two opposing schools of thought are going to continue. In the Evening Star, it's a Washington, D.C. newspaper during the time, in July of 1925, the Associated Press ran an article called Vienna Theologian Declares Progression is Law of God. This article explains how Dr. Karl Veth, the theological professor from Austria, responded to the Scopes trial. The article says that Veth believed that religion and science should not be mutually exclusive. He argues that Scopes had the right to teach evolution in his class because he believed that God was behind evolution. And this is a prime example of somebody who took this modernist approach to Christianity. One of the other main views that comes from this is there are going to be several groups of people throughout the nation that are going to stick to and kind of stay with their fundamentalist point of view. As said by Moran, there's going to be a group of Southerners, black and white Southerners, who are going to continue their fundamentalist view. The black Southerners, after this trial, are going to be heavily engrossed in the church because of in their beginnings with slavery. After the Civil War, when it looks like there's not much hope on either side, okay, they're going to kind of stick to this fundamentalist point of view that everything in the Bible is the way it should be. There's this concrete example of heaven and hell, and kind of going forward, they're going to stick to this belief after the trial.